Ja, herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Ausgabe AC-Talk und bei mir ist heute ein Startinterview, allerdings ein besonderes Startinterview, denn ich habe einen Konflikt of Interest, denn ich bin Aktionär. Und warum bin ich schon Aktionär? Die Company habe ich vor 3-4 Wochen oder was gesehen. Da hat es ein Intro gegeben von verschiedenen Firmen und so weiter und ich habe mir gedacht, die Company ist echt spannend und habe daraufhin ein paar Aktien gekauft. Ich habe es auch schon mal bei mir im SI vorgestellt. Ja, heute haben wir gedacht, wäre doch interessant, wenn wir ein Interview machen mit Jon Deluce. Er soll uns die Company selber präsentieren und ja, vielleicht sind Sie genauso dann begeistert, wie ich es gewesen bin damals. Und wenn ich ehrlich bin, habe ich schon wieder teilweise vergessen, warum ich so begeistert war. Ich hoffe, er kann mich heute genauso wieder mitreißen. Jon, thank you for your time. As said in my German introduction, this is our first interview what we do, and I have also a conflict of interest. I'm shareholder. I saw one presentation from you 2-3 weeks ago, and it was really fascinating, and I liked the story behind, and so that was the reason why I bought some shares out of the market. And we are quite at the same area as I bought the stock, so as the people don't miss any performance so far, and hopefully you can bring the same excitement back to me. What you give me the first when we saw I saw the first interview. The best way in the beginning is always maybe you can give us a small introduction to your company, why we should buy the stock.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. Well, I appreciate the opportunity to tell our story to your following. So Goldseek, I incorporated in 2018 and it went public in March of 2020. So a relatively new story. We've had a lot of success in the private markets, but the reason why we built Goldseek from scratch and brought it public is we felt that there was a lot of waste in the junior mining market, and we wanted to bring a company forward where you had management very well aligned with your shareholders and also were the largest financial backers of the company. So we built that in mind. We built it as a company that the majors will want to get involved with in a gold market that I think is just in the early innings. And I look forward to getting into that further with you.
Yeah, I have already the presentation online. Maybe you can give us a little bit background behind your company, especially what you're doing in the mining sector so far.
Yeah, no. So what we started out at the end of last year and how I financed the company is, so we're fully financed for 2021. We have over $2 million in the bank with no debt. And at the end of last year, I told my shareholders that we have a very strong grassroots portfolio of assets, 5 grassroots assets, 4 in Quebec, 1 in Ontario. But as you know, you have the most potential value creation, in my opinion, in the exploration life cycle curve through a grassroots discovery, but it's also the most riskiest part of the business. So what we set out to create value for our shareholders during this consolidation in the gold market is we wanted to acquire an advanced stage asset with existing gold zones within a year to 2 years of a maiden resource update that would be Goldseek's flagship asset. We were able to accomplish that in the beginning of March, and we're very excited to announce our new flagship asset. It's called the Besteht Project. We acquired it off of Wallbridge Mining, which is a very successful junior mining company based out of Ontario, working in Quebec. And it's a project that has multiple gold zones with starting gold results like 56 grams per ton over 6 meters, 13 grams per ton over 9, 10 grams per ton over 8, 3.5 grams per ton over almost 30 meters. So you have a mix of high grade with good intercepts, with lower grade, with very wide intervals. So this was an asset after reviewing 10 plus assets. This is an asset we look forward to drilling 5,000 to 10,000 meters this year, doing a maiden resource in 2022. And I think that provides a significant catalyst that could propel us from a grassroots exploration company up to a resource developer. So that's been a big part of our business plan. And I'll let investors over the next few quarters and year evaluate how we've done as a management team to bring that asset forward. But I'm very excited, and I think it has the opportunity to create a lot of value for our shareholders at Goldseek.
Okay, come to this project a little bit more in detail. How deep is or are the old gold showings? Is this a really deep deposit or is it on a shadow deposit?
So in the Fenelon Gold Camp, you have medium size overburden. So the overburden in that direct area is about 30 to 40 meters, but the gold mineralization starts at surface and continues to depth. So it's been tracked from surface down to depth currently of 400 meters vertical, and it's open in each direction. And the opportunity is a lot of this drill spacing is 200 to 300 meters. And as you know, you need to bring it down to around 50 for an inferred resource. So there's lots of drilling to be had, but it also shows the continuity of the gold system. And my technical team has built a 3D model. We have a good starting handle on the deposit and the potential wireframes. So we look forward to designing, and we're on our way to designing a maiden drill program there.
Do you see some outcrops on the surface, or it's all overburden?
On this specific portion of the property, it's all overburden. So we have to rely. There's been historical downhole geophysics that have been done to help add shape to what we're targeting. But yes, there's no outcrop. We rely on geophysics and geochem to assess and develop this asset.
Okay, when you say you will drill 5 to how many meters?
Between 5 to 10,000 meters.
5 to 10,000 meters. How deep is normally, or is the average of the drill hole?
So I just got our starting plan back last night. So we have holes as shallow as 150 to 200, and we have holes planned up to 600-700 meters in depth. And that's the nice thing about this potential gold deposit is it starts at surface and continues to depth. So this is a structure that has continuity, and that's what you need to build ounces in a mineral resource. So we're going to have a range of holes, and it's going to be a combination between infill and step out. The step out will be focused on extending our high grade zone, which was headlined by, as I mentioned, 56 grams per ton over 6 meters. That's open. So our extension drilling will be focused on that zone, and our infill will be focused on narrowing in the drill spacing to try to address our goal of a maiden resource next year. So I think it's a very exciting story between those factors and bringing forward an asset of that potential for a small company like Goldseek.
Is this primary? It's primary is gold, I think, but do you have also credits from other materials? Especially when I look at the overall map, there's some mines in the area. They have 2% zinc, copper, zinc, also copper, zinc, and
yes, there has been a historical copper intercept on the property. And as you mentioned, a big part of why this area is underexplored is 10 kilometers to the west, you have a base metals mine. And the original explorers were only looking for copper and zinc. So they stumbled upon these very impressive gold zones, but it also provides the opportunity that we have drill holes that we have access to that still require assaying. So I think over the next few months, we're going to re-assay some of these gold zones for gold, and whether it wasn't assayed for gold or if there were sections of this mineralization missed. So we have access to the 20,000 plus historical meters, and that will be of focus over the next couple months, reviewing the core and re-assaying or assaying zones that were previously overlooked.
So this is very important information. So we not only get the new information from the new core, from the new drilling, we get also then information from the old core, and re-assaying. Okay, very important. Is there a gold mine around? The question behind is
the closest mine. There's the Casa Berardi to the southwest. But then there's a detour open pit mine that's 70 kilometers to the west on the Ontario side of the border. And that's obviously a very large mine that's owned by Kirkland Lake Gold. They're partnered with Wallbridge Mining on the Wallbridge's Fenelon deposit 30 kilometers to the north. So there's been a tremendous amount of activity and money come into the Detour Gold Camp over the last year or 2 years. So I think it's going to be definitely a very interesting and a lot of potential gold camp to follow.
Mm-hmm. Though the question behind was more, I do another interview with another company also on the area of Val d'Or. And they say, okay, we are now going down, or we have drill intersect around 1,200, 1,400 meters deep. And this is not a problem. Then Agnico Eagle Mine going down 1.5 kilometers, and that's normally it's not a really big problem. When you coming up and say the most area between down to 300 meters and so on, so then we have a big potential, maybe big potential down that maybe there's really a big system there, and they can go deep. So and that was the question behind if we have other similar project. They show that maybe the systems are really going deep, or is it more on the surface?
Well, that's a great question. I think the best comparable is Wallbridge's Fenelon deposit, and that's the company that we acquired this asset from. So the Wallbridge's Fenelon deposit is it's close. It's 25, 30 kilometers to the northeast, and they're drilling down. I think they're at 1,100 meter holes now, and it's open to depth. So you see in the Abitibi Greenstone, whether it's Fenelon or Casa Berardi, these zones continue to depth, and they have the grade that can justify an underground mine going to those depths. So a lot of times these systems in the Abitibi open up at depth. So that's why drilling 1,000, 1,500 meter holes towards the more mature stages of these assets is not unheard of by any means.
Mm-hmm. When you will start with drilling?
So our plan for the next couple quarters is, the first step is we're building out our 3D model and using the historical drill core to put together the best possible targets for a large program to start. So the next 3 months we're going to be modeling and re-assaying some of the historical core, and then we'll either look to end of summer or early fall initial program. We're also considering doing a smaller program to start earlier in the summer potentially, but it's also part of the property. There is swamps, so we need to determine what is most cost efficient to drill in the summer versus in the fall winter. So that's part of our assessment over the next few months to weigh out everything. We're not going to get in a rush because we really want to build. We think that these gold zones have a lot of potential, but we want to put in the time to leverage the historical data to put forward the best targets possible. So I'll be able to provide a better update in time in the next couple months, but I can assure you we're going full force at getting ready to drill as soon as we can.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So there is no typical drill season there, or you say normally typically we drill in the fall or in the winter?
It's preferred in this region to drill in the fall or winter. However, previous owners of this property have drilled it in the summer. So we gotta look at our initial drill targets, where they lay on the property, how our access is to get there. Because if drilling is gonna cost double the price in the summer on these areas in the winter, then I'll put the extra time into planning and some of the initial planning work and wait till the fall or winter. Mm-hmm. So we're very excited to drill, but we pride ourselves on being cost efficient and making sure that we get as much value out of our money as we can. Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying that it won't be drilled in the summer, but it's part of our considerations that we're going to be doing over the next few months, including a site visit to look at our targets on surface, where our collars are going to be, and what we can drill efficiently this summer.
And in the meantime, you have the old drill core and the modeling and so on, so that you have enough work on this?
Yeah, exactly. So, because if we want to publish our model, which is one of our goals to the market, our QPs need to review the historical core. So that's part of it. And also reviewing the historical core, you can get a better handle on the mineralized zones, and it goes a long way into increasing our odds of continuing success at the project.
But this is not the only project what you have. You have more of them. So what are the next interesting project where you're working on it?
Yeah, so we have a large portfolio, Quebec focused, one Ontario. But to give you the very quick overview, we have 5 other projects, starting with our Cavion West project in the Abitibi Greenstone Belt, once again in Quebec. This is our largest project, just over 70,000 acres, and no underlying royalties. So this is part of our thesis of creating a company that the majors will want to get involved with. They want to get involved with district scale projects, little to no underlying royalties. And this is a project that was owned by over 8 different companies in the prior gold bull market, which didn't allow for any systematic exploration. And there's over 30 kilometers of Quebec published gold targets on shear zone. So very excited about that project. We'll be starting on that in the spring. On our Val-d'Or North project, again, large project, over 25,000 acres, no underlying royalty. We did a gold grain and till sampling survey last fall. Our results will be out any day now. We got them back. We're very positive about it. We look forward to bringing that out and showing our follow-up plan for the spring. We then Bonanza project in the Urban Berry Gold Camp. We finished 1,800 meters of drilling in December, and we're looking forward to those results in the next month. The labs have been delayed due to the massive volumes of core that have been the byproduct of large fundraising last year. And then we have our Southern Arm project in the Detour Gold Trend. It adjoins our flagship Besteht asset, and it's a large project, most of which has no underlying royalty. It shares a border with Great Thunder Gold, and it's about 12 kilometers south of the Fenelon Gold Deposit. So it's a grassroots project, has a very encouraging 8-kilometer VTEM target amongst the property with historical disseminated gold, copper, zinc sulfide. So we have a combination of drilling for till and diamond drilling planned for this summer. We look forward to getting on that project. And lastly, our one Ontario asset is our Horizon project. It shares 4 kilometers of Barrick Gold's mining lease at their Hemlo mine. So very, very well positioned in an area that's of Ontario, the Hemlo district, that's been very underexplored because the gold is deep laying. But we finished our soil sampling last year. We're going to bring that out in the next few weeks to month, and we have some new encouraging targets there. So as I said, we're diversified. We have a portfolio of grassroots assets that I think will be sought after in an increasing gold market that I think we're in. The majors are hungry for growth. They've neglected exploration for the last 10 years, but they're coming off of record Q4 earnings. So I think it provides a great environment for companies that are well diversified through district scale plays, but also headlined by a more mature asset to really be well showcased in this mining market that I think is going to get a lot better than it is today.
So to summarize a little bit, so we get a lot of news flow out of the other projects before you start with your new flagship project, or the results starting from the new flagship project. So,
well, yep.
Yeah, now go ahead.
No, exactly. Like the thing is part of our strategy is to always have news flow, because as soon as you run out of news, investors look for another story. So it's important to us. We're in this to create value for shareholders, but we're not going to do that unless we have work programs on the go at all times. So from our flagship asset, I think we'll have an update every month, we'll have an update every month, because there's a lot that goes into designing a program of that size. And I think there's a lot of positive updates or research that we're doing that will help show investors the potential of that project. But at the same time, we have 5 other projects. We'll be doing other programs this summer. So lots of news flow and lots of catalysts for investors to look out for.
Yeah, but what's really interesting is about your company is the shareholder structure. You as a management team and family, you have 59% of the stock. That's just really unusual. So how this comes first, and yeah, that means also that the free flow is relatively tight.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the thing is we have over $1 million of our own money in the company. As I said from the start of our interview, we wanted to build a company that we're well aligned with our shareholders, because exploration is a very risky business. But if you have a management team that's aligned with shareholder interests, it helps increase your chances of success. And we pride ourselves on that, and also having one of the lowest G&A burns in the industry. And then that allows us to put the vast majority of our money in the ground, and that's where we're going to create value for shareholders. But yeah, our share structure is definitely unique. As I said, management has participated in almost every financing, including putting in over $500,000 at the 25 and 27 cent mark, so where we're trading at today. And we have 32 million shares outstanding with about 13 public. So what that creates is a lot of torque on any potential positive developments that we bring forward from the company. And also, just a quick note, we have no cheap overhang on the stock. All of our stock is free trading at the moment, and the majority of our warrants are between 50 and 60 cents. So that's also very important, because if you have overhang on the stock, you'll have more selling pressure, as you know. But very transparent, and we like to lay out all the factors to consider.
Yeah. And the last placement was with 37 cents. So I think we are, at the moment, when I look at the price, the chart, we see that you're trading between 22 and 29. So we are well under the last financing. So very interesting, very interesting. So come to my last question. What do you think are the next 3 major news in the next 3 to 6 months? What can we expect?
So definitely our flagship Besteht asset is what everybody's going to be following, and that's going to be at the top of our list. I think the major things from that will be the assaying results from the historical core, and announcing and showing our initial model, and starting planned drill holes in our plan for that. So I think that's the biggest thing. The remainder of our assets, it's, as you know, grassroots exploration is results driven. So really that we're going to have results out from 2 of the projects in the next month. And we're going to be announcing our plans for the spring and summer. So that I think that's key for investors to look at. And we're going to focus our grassroots exploration budget on the areas that are producing the best results. And also one thing that, as you would expect with 6 projects in a company of our size, I'm open to doing options or joint ventures with larger partners and major producers. So I think that there's nothing guaranteed or set in stone right now, but I would look out for any potential partnerships that come up this year, because it's a goal of ours to try to at least have one strategic partnership in 2021.
Okay, about the partnership for a single project.
A single project, yes. And we've had success creating value through those type of arrangements, and I'm confident that with our large projects and some of the grassroots exploration, whether it's till or modeling or surface work, I think that these assets will become attractive to a partner that's able to bring the expertise and large funding to provide to complement our portfolio, because with 6 properties, it requires a lot of capital to maintain and develop. So I think having a partner come in on one, or we're open to all opportunities, it creates another way that we create value for shareholders, and bring in a partner that brings a lot of credibility.
Do you look also on the other side for other acquisitions, so that you're based there and have a lot of contacts and yeah?
Yeah, we're always on the lookout for acquisitions. As I mentioned, when we went through the process for Besteht, we looked at 10 plus assets in that search. So if the right deal comes up with the right terms that creates value, then we're always open to that. So that's always a possibility.
John, thank you for the first introduction to your company. Hopefully we have time that we do another interview after the first round of news, so that we get some old news from your new flagship project, maybe old historical workings on it and reassess this, and also from the last year work from the other projects, or maybe you're coming up with a joint venture partner, I don't know. So that would be great when we can do another interview in 3 or 6 months. That was really a maybe interesting thing.
Yeah, that sounds great. Well, I thank you for your time and I greatly appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you. Ja, das war ein Update von Goldseek Resources. Was wirklich wahnsinnig, ich fange gleich mit den an, ist die Aktionärstruktur. 59% der Aktien gehört ihnen. Sie haben großteils selber das mitgekauft. Die letzte Finanzierungsrunde war bei 37 Cent. Sie haben vorher den Aktienkurs gesehen, der ist zwischen 22 und 29. Da geht es ein bisschen hin und her. Das einzige Problem ist, dass die Liquidität natürlich relativ niedrig ist, weil der Free Float natürlich sehr schwach ist. Klar, sie haben nur 33 Millionen Aktien draußen, beziehungsweise wenn man alle Warrants reinrechnet, sind es 42. Die Warrants haben einen Ausübungspreis in der Regel zwischen 50 und 60 Cent. Da sind die meisten drinnen. Und wie gesagt, das letzte Placement war bei 37 Cent. Aber es ist extrem eng, ist extrem tightly held und das ist eigentlich extrem spannend. So, kommen wir mal zu den einzelnen Projekten. Sie sind dort wahnsinnig gut vernetzt und ist man nicht wirklich darauf eingegangen, aber sie haben sehr stark auch im privaten Bereich früher gearbeitet, dass sie sehr viele Konzessionsgebiete gehabt haben, die es dann teilweise auch an diverse andere Firmen verkauft haben, Joint Venture gemacht haben und die können das also, die können das richtig gut sogar. Und das macht es eigentlich richtig spannend. Und das heißt, sie suchen nach den richtigen Projekten, bringen die in ein gewisses Stadium und verkaufen das dann dementsprechend weiter. Und jetzt machen sie es halt einfach börsennotiert. Sie haben sehr geringe Kosten. Warum haben sie auch sehr geringe Kosten? Weil sie selber Immobilien dementsprechend haben und dort untergebracht sind und auch dadurch die Kosten sparen können. Und hier ist das Flaggschiff-Projekt. Das hat in der Vergangenheit teilweise schon 5 Meter mit 55 Gramm Gold gehabt, 8 Meter mit 13 Gramm Gold, 28 Meter mit 3,5 Gramm Gold. Es besteht keine Ressourcenschätzung dort, aber es ist extrem spannend. Leider ist das alles, man sieht es nicht an der Oberfläche, weil das ein Overburden drauf ist, aber unterhalb geht es gleich mit der Ressource los und sie haben bis jetzt eigentlich nur bis 300-400 Meter gebohrt. Die können aber sehr tief gehen, nämlich über 1,1 Kilometer oder 1,2 Kilometer. Sie haben aber, das ist nur das Flaggschiff-Projekt, was da auch spannend ist, sie haben 20.000 Bohrmeter, alte Bohrmeter, die sind teilweise nicht auf Gold geprüft worden, weil dort der Kupfer und so weiter mehr im Fokus gestanden ist. Das heißt, die schauen sich den Core jetzt nochmal an und dann teilweise dann das nochmal analysieren lassen und zwar auf Gold und schauen sich das dementsprechend dann an. Das Budget heuer ist dann für 5.000 bis 10.000 Bohrmeter, aber davor wird noch Reassing gemacht, also eine Nummer analysiert und dann auch ein 3D-Modeling gemacht, so dass sie auch darum sagen können, wo sind die richtigen Bohrtargets. Was kommt aber in der Zwischenzeit noch von allen ihren anderen Projekten, haben sie letztes Jahr und in den letzten Monaten sehr viel gemacht und die Ergebnisse kommen jetzt alle raus. Das heißt, wir sehen dort möglicherweise einen schönen Newsflow in den nächsten Wochen. Er hat ja auch hier da nochmal reingeschrieben, wann das rauskommen soll. Sie sehen Q1, also da wird es jetzt Zeit, dass es weitergeht, weil Q1 ist jetzt dann bald vorbei. Also ich nehme mal an, die nächsten Wochen werden wir einigen Newsflow sehen und mit diesem Newsflow erwarte ich dann auch, dass diese 30 Cent Geschichte sind und dass wir dann eher auf die obere Ende hinlaufen, auf die 50 Cent. Das ist so meine Überlegung und ich glaube, ich traue es ihnen auch zu. Und wie gesagt, was mich fasziniert hat an dem ganzen Ding ist das Management. Ich glaube, dass das Management richtig gut ist und die wissen, wie man Geld in dem Sektor macht. Und das ist das Wichtigste. Dann findet man auch die richtigen Projekte und kann sie auch dann richtig weiterentwickeln und eben wieder verkaufen. Das war's von Goldseek Resources am 25. März 2021. Und viel Erfolg bei Ihrem Investment. Tschüss und Baba. John, thank you for your time. Good luck with all the new results and also your new press releases and new projects and whatever. Yeah, hopefully we see us in 2-3 months, and we can do then a new interview, a new round of interview, and hopefully we have then good results from your old and new flagship project. Thank you.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.